Okay, so we're going to be talking about the absolute value inequalities. And if you remember from the last video, what we were talking about for absolute values is we're really talking about the distance. So if you actually read this out as a sentence, it says the distance is going to be less than 5 or smaller than 5. So as a picture, do we see that the things that are less than 5 distance away from 0 are the numbers between 0 and positive 5, as well as the numbers between negative 5 and 0. Okay? Now, if you actually look at this, this looks like one of our AND problems, right? And we can think of this as saying the way to get this interval, which is the overlap of the numbers which are x is greater than negative 5 and the numbers which are x less than 5, is to have the overlap, which is right here. And what represents overlap? And. So anytime you have this or this one, this is an AND problem. Now let's do the same thing with the one on the right. We want the distance to be farther away than 5 or larger than 5. So those things has distance 5 right here. So anything past this is going to have distance larger than 5. So can we see here has distance, for example, maybe 6, 7, 8, 9, which is larger than 5 away. And similarly to the left, like that. Now, can we also see that that looks like our OR problems from previous examples? So this, the absolute value of x, which is greater than 5, and the absolute value of x, which is greater than or equal to 5, both give us OR problems. Okay. And so just like when we were doing the ANDs and ORs in the compound inequality section, it is important because depending on whether or not it's an AND or an OR type problem, it'll change the answer. So let's go ahead and do a simple example. Which is going to be given by 3x is less than or equal to 9. So right away, the absolute value is less than or equal to 9. That gives us an AND type problem. Once we know the type of problem, we're going to do exactly what we did when we solved it using an equal sign. We're going to split it into 2 parts, each with parentheses, one with a minus in front. So the first one is 3x less than or equal to 9, and the other one is negative 3x is less than or equal to 9. Now this may be a little bit different the way you learned it before, but the reason why I do it this way is very specific. We want it done like this so that when we divide through by this negative 3, we know to flip the inequality because division and multiplication of a negative number flips the inequality. Okay. Now do it for this one, or we just divide by 3. Now once you have these 2 inequalities, we're going to solve it by graphing. And notice this type of problem really is a compound inequality problem, right? If I just carry down this AND, after we got to this point, we would graph it. And we say, this one is the blue one, and the x values which are less than or equal to 3 are those values, and the x values which are greater than or equal to negative 3 are that values. The part which is an AND is the part where they overlap, and that's given by that, which always start on the left. It starts working from minus 3 and stops working at 3. And because those are both colored in circles, are closed, then we include them in our answer. So the answer should be from -3 to 3.